Welcome back to Z-Star Lovers. Today's This Is Fate episode breakdown is packed with shocking twists, heartbreaking moments, and family drama you can't miss. From Preeta's tragic accident, Srishti fiercely returns, and Shaurya's dangerous games, this episode changes everything. Please don't forget to subscribe for more interesting updates. Now let's dive right into the video.
Nidhi mentions that she gave in after seeing the bond between Kavya and Rajveer. But then everything changed. Karan says he does not care what she thinks. When Mahesh asks him to calm down, Karan apologizes to Varun and his family, explaining that this should never have happened at Kavya and Varun's function. His father tells him not to say that, since Karan himself had earlier said they were all a family. Nidhi, in a grumpy voice, remarks that Rajveer was also considered family once. Karan and the entire Luthra family become furious. The inspector is pulling Rajveer away when Preeta suddenly comes and tries to stop them. The inspector says Rajveer has been accused of stealing. Rajveer tells Preeta he does not know how the money went missing. The inspector, furious, yells at Preeta. Rajveer asks them not to speak to her like that. But the inspector says then Rajveer should send her home. The constable starts the car, and they drive off. Preeta falls while trying to follow them, which makes Rajveer furious. Preeta assures him she will not let him stay in the lockup. Shaurya refuses Sandy's request to go clubbing, saying the entire family is tensed, especially his sister Kavya. Sandy asks since when Shaurya started caring about family matters. Shaurya still does not agree and exclaims that only one thing can cheer him up: going to the police station. He says last time Rajveer came when he got arrested, and now it's his turn to visit Rajveer. Nidhi blames the Luthra family, saying they always target the person who is not at fault. Karina replies that Nidhi is at fault and should have consulted the family before taking such a big step. Nidhi asks what difference it would have made. Grandma says she should have sought their permission first, and then things would not have turned out this way. Karan again apologizes to Varun's parents for what happened. They assure him there is no need to feel embarrassed. Varun tells Kavya not to worry and that she can call him anytime. The officials then leave. Later, Rakhi tells Nidhi that she stayed quiet in front of everyone, but is now telling her privately that she was wrong. Nidhi replies she will see who is right in the end, and others can think whatever they like. Kavya intervenes, saying Rajveer is her brother. Nidhi scolds her, which makes Karan furious. Karina questions how Nidhi dared to yell at Kavya. Grandma warns Nidhi not to scold Kavya again, or she will show her what can happen. Karan also warns Nidhi never to dare such behavior, explaining she cannot imagine the consequences. Nidhi apologizes to everyone, saying she only got angry because they were all yelling at her. Karan leaves with the rest of the family. After they go, Nidhi mutters that they can all yell. But her work is complete. She has ousted Rajveer from the house and now must make sure he never wins back their trust, but instead remains hated by them. Meanwhile, Preeta asks a stranger at the stand if she can get an auto to Bandra police station. She recalls how Srishti once tried to stop her from coming to Mumbai, saying people in Mumbai are not kind-hearted. Preeta regrets letting Rajveer work with the Luthras because otherwise, he would not have been blamed for such a big crime. She remembers when Nidhi slapped Rajveer and how he was arrested as a thief. Crying, Preeta admits Srishti was right. Kavya is crying in her room when Rakhi comes to sit beside her. Rakhi says tears do not look good in her eyes. Kavya explains that she personally invited Rajveer to her function, so she feels responsible for what happened to him. Rakhi comforts her, saying she is not the only one who feels bad. Everyone is worried. Kavya asks why such things happen to Rajveer when he is such a good person. Rakhi agrees, hugs her, and assures her everything will be fine. Kavya recalls that from the first time she met Rajveer, she felt connected to him and never thought of him as less than Shaurya. She says no one is doing anything to help Rajveer. Rakhi explains that they will do much for him but must wait for the right time. She tells Kavya that she is still young and doesn't understand how society works. Rakhi admits that what Nidhi did was wrong, calling the police without thinking. She explains that problems in a family should remain private. But once they go outside, society begins to judge. That is what has happened to Rajveer. As Kavya leaves, Rakhi wonders how Rajveer will be freed and follows her. At the police station, Rajveer keeps pleading for his innocence. But the inspector does not listen and even demands his mobile. Rajveer says he doesn't have it. But a constable hands it over, saying a family member gave it to him. Rajveer is taken to the lockup while recalling what happened last night. He realizes the truth, but the officers push him inside, telling him to stay quiet and enjoy his stay. Meanwhile, Shaurya and Sandy arrive at the police station. Shaurya says proudly that this time he has played a very strong game. Just as the elders say, give a strong blow. They demand to meet Rajveer, but the inspector refuses, saying no one can meet him until the investigation is complete. Shaurya insists, saying he can make Rajveer confess. The inspector warns him not to interfere, but eventually agrees to let Shaurya in alone. Outside, Sandy asks why Shaurya was so polite. Shaurya replies that if they argued, it would hurt the inspector's ego, so he had to pretend. Inside, Rajveer is standing when the constable tells him Shaurya has come to meet him. Shaurya mocks him, saying he should at least turn around with some dignity. Rajveer, unable to bear it, turns to face him. Shaurya says Rajveer has no chance to prove his innocence this time, as there is no CCTV footage. He recalls how Rajveer once proved Palki innocent with footage. Rajveer accuses Shaurya of being behind this incident. He asks why Shaurya hates him so much, even ruining his own sister's function just to hurt him. Shaurya keeps calling Rajveer a thief, while Rajveer yells that he is innocent. Shaurya says Rajveer only cares about money and was born into a poor family, and he will prove to everyone that Rajveer is indeed a thief. Back at the Luthra mansion, Rishabh arrives and admires the decoration. He takes Mahesh's blessings. Karan tells Rishabh that he is very late. Rishabh says it was because of traffic and plans to go apologize to Kavya. But Karan stops him, explaining that the problem is not just his lateness. Rajveer, whom Kavya personally invited as family, is now in jail. Rishabh is left shocked. Karan informs Rishabh that they even invited Rajveer to today's function. In fact, Kavya personally invited him and wanted him to attend the entire event. But now, Rajveer is locked in jail. Karan explains the whole truth to Rishabh. Rishabh asks Karan if Rajveer really stole the money. Karan replies that the money is missing from the safe, and the police are investigating. Mahesh then mentions that they are upset only because Kavya is upset. Rishabh asks why, and Mahesh explains that Kavya considers Rajveer her brother because he once protected her from criminals. Now she feels hurt because he got arrested after she invited him. Rishabh tells Karan that he must convince Kavya and reassure her that nothing is proven yet. But Karan says he cannot lie to his daughter. Rishabh then leaves to speak to Kavya. Afterward, Mahesh wonders what they should do. Karan replies that it's not about right or wrong, but about what they have seen. Mahesh is shocked and begins to wonder if Karan doesn't actually want to bail Rajveer out. Tension builds as Mahesh feels like both brothers are standing against each other, fighting as if it's about property. Meanwhile, Sandy waits for Shaurya. When Shaurya arrives, Sandy asks if he feels satisfied. Shaurya says he doesn't feel the satisfaction he expected after sending Rajveer to jail. Sandy suggests bribing the police and beating Rajveer. But Shaurya says he doesn't want to give Rajveer physical pain. Sandy then explains that soon, people will discover Rajveer is in jail for theft, and he will be ridiculed and humiliated. Shaurya goes to the inspector and asks how long Rajveer will be locked up. The inspector replies for a maximum of 3 months. Shaurya then asks what would happen if he reopens an old case. When he mentions that Rajveer once tried to kill him by giving him an electric shock at his party, The inspector replies that such a case could lock Rajveer up for at least 10 years. Shaurya smiles and heads back. Inside the jail cell, Rajveer regrets going alone to the room Nidhi sent him to. He wishes he had taken someone with him and prays to God. Shaurya comes to taunt him, saying nothing can save him now. He even threatens to reopen the old case. Rajveer insists he only wanted to spoil Shaurya's party. But Shaurya laughs, saying no one will believe him. At home, Nidhi opens the door and finds Arohi. Arohi congratulates her on achieving such a big milestone. Nidhi calls Shaurya, who tells her he just came back from the police station after meeting Rajveer and is now relaxed. He says he'll hang out with Sandy before coming home. Elsewhere, Kavya is crying while Rakhi consoles her. Rishabh enters and Kavya hugs him, saying her father let Rajveer get arrested, even though he did nothing. She begs Rishabh to take care of things, just like he used to when she was little. Rishabh assures her that he will always take care of her. But she must also remember that her father loves her deeply. If Karan cannot handle the situation, he will step in. Kavya leaves in tears. Rishabh then asks Rakhi if Kavya is very tense. He takes Rakhi's blessing and agrees to take her to meet Rajveer's auntie since she wants to talk with her. Later, Karan is in his room when Kavya enters. Karan tells her she never needs permission to come in. Kavya explains that she feels guilty because Rajveer was arrested after she invited him. Karan tells her to forget about it and rest. But she refuses, saying Rajveer cannot do such a thing. She asks if money is really more important than the truth. Karan insists it's about right and wrong. But Kavya reminds him how Rajveer once saved her honor from criminals. Not just her bag, she asks if 1 crore is greater than her dignity. Karan is silent, as Kavya urges him to think if Rajveer is truly capable of stealing. Karan recalls moments when Rajveer saved him from fire and helped him with ointment. He looks away, lost in thought. Meanwhile, Gurpreet is sitting when Palki comes with medicine. Gurpreet reminds her that she is the doctor. But Palki says she just wanted to confirm. Palki then asks where Rajveer is. And Gurpreet says even Preeta is not home. Palki wonders where Preeta could have gone, as she knows today was Shaurya's sister's event. She recalls seeing it through Preeta's video call, but notices Preeta left suddenly, possibly after seeing something. At that moment, Preeta tries to stop an auto. While crossing the road, she gets hit by a car and falls unconscious. The driver runs away in fear. But a couple nearby decides to help her and rush her to the hospital. Meanwhile, Shaurya and Sandy are celebrating, feeling happy seeing Rajveer in jail. Sandy suggests they enjoy themselves at the club. Shaurya agrees, but soon Nidhi calls him in panic, asking him to return home quickly. Shaurya tells Sandy their plan is cancelled, and they drive back. At Gurpreet's house, she and Palki are sitting when Mohit opens the door. To their shock, Srishti is standing there. She greets them and introduces herself as Preeta's younger sister and Rajveer's mother. Gurpreet welcomes her warmly. Srishti immediately asks about Preeta and Rajveer, but everyone remains silent. At the hospital, the couple asks the nurse to admit Preeta. When asked for her name, they say they don't know her but heard her repeating the name Rajveer while unconscious. The nurse instructs the ward boy to take her to the operation theater and calls the doctor. Back at Gurpreet's house, Srishti anxiously says Preeta is not answering her calls, which has never happened before. She worries about handling the situation. Palki suggests trying Rajveer's number, but Srishti replies that he is also not answering. Mohit says his phone might be on silent. Srishti notices Palki and asks who she is. Mohit explains she is Rajveer's best friend. Srishti is surprised, saying Rajveer never told her. Mohit replies that it's obvious from their bond. Worried, Srishti asks what he means. And Gurpreet teases that she is talking, as if she wants Palki to be her daughter-in-law. Just then, Palki comes back with water and offers tea. Srishti praises her, saying she is a very nice girl. Srishti says that Palki is so sweet. On the other hand, Shaurya asks Nidhi why she looks stressed. Nidhi tells him that Karan is angry at her because Kavya is upset. She also informs him that she saw Karan talking to the lawyer. In the police station, Rajveer recalls how Srishti told him not to go to Mumbai. He says that he is missing Srishti so much. He thinks that Preeta must be in pain because of him, and he regrets going to the Luthra house. He asks God to do some magic and sends Srishti to Mumbai. In the hospital, the nurse tells the doctor that Preeta has lost a lot of blood, and it is a head injury. The doctor treats Preeta while she murmurs Rajveer's name. Rajveer asks the constable if he can make a call, but the constable tells him that the police inspector said he cannot call anyone. Rajveer pleads, saying he wants to call his mother. The constable says he will get permission from the inspector. Meanwhile, Srishti calls Preeta and learns about her accident. She leaves with Mohit for the city hospital. The doctor tells the nurse that even though Preeta is unconscious, she is thinking about someone and asks the nurse to take care of her. The constable later informs Rajveer that he can make a call. Rajveer calls Srishti. Srishti assumes Rajveer is with Preeta and asks him about her. He apologizes for not listening to her and reveals that he joined Luthra Industries to take revenge on Karan. But they accused him, and now he is in the police station. Srishti realizes that Rajveer does not know about Preeta's accident, so she decides not to tell him. She only informs him that she is in Mumbai and asks him not to stress. At the Luthra house, Shaurya questions Kavya about why she is supporting Rajveer. He says he doesn't like it when his family goes against him and asks her to stop her emotional drama. He even orders her to tell Karan not to help Rajveer. Kavya refuses, saying he can't force her into anything. Shaurya scolds her. Just then, Karan arrives and scolds Shaurya for disrespecting Kavya. On Karan's behest, Shaurya apologizes to Kavya but still insists that Karan should not help Rajveer before leaving. Kavya then tells Karan that Shaurya has misunderstood, thinking he is helping Rajveer. Karan admits that he spoke to the lawyer and says he needs time to think, then leaves. Kavya sadly says that no one understands her, and if Preeta were there, she would have understood her. She recalls how Rajveer saved her and feels bad that she is not able to help him. Meanwhile, Srishti reaches the hospital and breaks down seeing Preeta in that state. She misunderstands that the Luthras already know Rajveer's identity. She tells Preeta not to worry about Rajveer. The doctor informs Srishti that Preeta will not regain consciousness for at least 3 hours, and if she is disturbed, her brain may react wrongly. Wow, what an intense episode. Rajveer is trapped, Preeta is fighting for her life, and the Luthra family is torn apart. Do you think Karan will finally stand up for Rajveer? And will Preeta survive this accident? Drop your thoughts in the comments. I did love to hear from you. Don't forget to like, subscribe to Z-Star Lovers, and hit the bell icon so you never miss the next explosive update on This Is Fate.